50 Cent is weighing in on the political landscape. 50 Cent has a few things to say, and he was asked who you're going to vote for. And I'll tell you, I think like the reporter was shocked when she got the response, because he talks about who he thinks a very important demographic is going to be voting for and the reasons why. Take a listen. 50 Cent, otherwise known as Curtis Jackson.
We're heading into another election, so have you made a decision about who you're going to support?
I'm not sure how to answer that question, to be honest with you.
Have you made a decision?
I haven't.
What do you see as the significance of African American men in this election for both of you?
I see them identifying with Trump.
Why do you say that?
Because they got RICO charges.
Oh, RICO charges. All right. So he sees black men in America identifying with Donald Trump, because a lot of people feel like the justice system is kind of stacked against them. And the RICO charges, that's like one of the go-to moves, right? Because you can get a whole bunch of people with the RICO charges and you get everybody tattling on everybody, and it turns into a big, giant, what storm. So 50 Cent making the point that a lot of Black America is identifying now with Donald Trump, which is really kind of interesting, because they want you to think that he's really a bad dude, right? Like he's this, that, and the other. How many times do we have to hear Whoopi Goldberg tell us how bad he is and racist he is and this, that, and the other? And then it turns out that Black America is actually like, wait a second, maybe we're actually going to vote for this guy. You look at the polling numbers, it's just incredible. Joe Biden, as of a couple months ago, was down 20 points with young Black Americans. And I think that actually Black Americans overall, and I think young Black Americans specifically, happens to be his weakest point. And I would anticipate it's going to get weaker and weaker and weaker, because this particular group is looking at the 81-year-old that's falling asleep all the time saying, well, what are you doing for me? You sit there and tell me it's my problem? Like, what are you, gaslighting me, telling me, no, the economy's great? What are you thinking? How dare you suggest otherwise? When I know how much groceries cost, I know how much it costs to put gas in my tank. Like, we weren't born yesterday. You can't just spin this anymore. Guess what? There's other sources for news, including right here, right? Where I'm going to tell you what wages are adjusted for inflation. Because you actually need to know that. New York Times doesn't. I remember, I was telling a friend this, about a year ago, I was reading a New York Times article. It was outrageous. They were literally saying how great Biden was because he had increased wages by whatever the percentage amount was that they were quoting. And I'm looking at the number and I'm like, but that's not adjusted for inflation. I mean, like, how can you actually use that number? As an economics reporter, I would never use that number. You have to use the actual, it's called real wages adjusted for inflation. You don't do that. So either the New York Times can't afford a decent economics reporter, or you've got economics reporters masquerading as political reporters, or political reporters writing your economics pieces. But the reality is this: the economy is not doing well. There's a ton of inflation. You need to figure out your life accordingly in light of it, right? Because of all this inflation that Joe Biden, frankly, has brought on. I mean, he's the guy with the third stimulus check. He's the guy that was, okay, you know what, go for it, to Chuck Schumer and company when they wanted to spend trillions of dollars more. He kept our economy shut down longer than it needed to be shut down. And what happened? You got a ton of pent up demand and not enough supply, obviously. And they kept telling us it was transitory. If I had to hear that word one more time, I'm sorry. It really started. It's like a dirty word to me, transitory, for goodness sakes. I guess they thought nobody would actually understand it, so they could go with that. Please, 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 please. I mean, look, inflation is here and it's going to be here for a while. We said the ECB just cut, forgive me, yes, just cut rates today. The ECB, the European Central Bank. So that means if you're going to Europe this summer, I'll be back in Ireland. Guess what? The dollar is even stronger. Even stronger. Wow, wow, wow. So just incredible stuff to be watching right now in real time. And you know what? We can't be spun. Now, can we? Let me take a look in this moment in time and see what your commentary is as we are on a live show right here. You're watching the Trish Regan Show. Please do me the favor of subscribing, of liking, all of that good stuff right now, because it's thanks to you and thanks to your support that we are succeeding in this just insane way. I started this channel a little over a year ago, maybe like a year and a month ago. And look at this, we're at nearly 300,000. And this is no marketing, folks. This is what you call organic growth. Like this is just all you sharing it, liking it, telling your friends, commenting. And you know what? It pays off. So thank you for everything you do. I love seeing this. I really, really do. It's really quite something.